Hey y'all, so we're starting off this project with some wood blanks. You can see I've already gone ahead and painted the edges of them black. This is optional, but I do prefer it. I also have my scrap fabric that I'm going to be using to cover the wood blanks. For the one that's not painted, I'm going to be using that to trace the shape onto my scrap fabric. I'll be using this piece for the front of the earring and the other scrap fabric for the back of the earring. On the fabric for the front, I'm deciding where I want to place and trace my circle so that the pattern will be the same on both earrings. Once I find my spots, I'm just outlining the circle with a regular pen, and you're going to do this for both sides of the front, and you'll also repeat this so you can have two circles on the back fabric. After I finish tracing my circles, I cut them out. I trim down the fabric with my rotary cutter, and then I go in with some small fabric scissors for a more precise cut. Now it's time to glue our fabric to our wood blanks. I'm starting with the front pieces of fabric and using some Mod Podge. I'm also using an old paintbrush that I don't mind getting messed up. So I'm spreading the Mod Podge across the wood blank. You want to make sure that the full surface is covered. And for the fabric, make sure that you're applying the Mod Podge to the wrong side of the fabric because you're going to flip it over and attach it to your wood blank, and you want to see the right side of your fabric once you attach it. When you apply the fabric to the wood blank, make sure you're lining it up as best as you can, and you can see me here smoothing it out with my finger to make sure there's no air pockets. Set that piece aside and you'll repeat the same process for the second earring. And I'm going to leave these to dry for approximately 15 minutes. I'm checking the pieces to make sure that they're dry enough to work with, and they seem to be okay. Next, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to trim off the excess fabric that is extending over the wood blank. And this is why I painted the edges of my wood blanks black, because I'm not folding over the fabric, so you'll be able to see the edge of the blank. And I'd rather you see the black because it'll blend in and not be as noticeable than seeing the light color of the wood blank. Although this does depend on the color of fabric you're using. If you're using a lighter fabric, you can totally leave the wood blanks unpainted and have the lighter wood showing through. Now it's time to attach the back fabric pieces, and it's the same exact process as before. Spread your Mod Podge on the blanks and also on the fabric. Line them up as best as possible. Let them dry for approximately 15 minutes. While that's drying, I'm going to prepare the beaded component of our earrings. I have two pieces of 20 gauge wire, about 2 inches each, and I chose some beads that match the colors in my fabric pattern. I make a loop at the end of my wire by folding about 1/4 inch of the wire in one direction and then curling it back in the other direction. I add my beads to the wire in the desired order. Then I'll bend the wire to hold it in place, trim off the excess, leaving myself enough space to curve the wire and make a closing loop. And of course, repeat this process for the second bead component. Now that my earrings are dry, I'm going to trim the excess fabric off of the back side as well. Now I'm going to mark my earrings each with a dot so I can drill a hole to add a jump ring. To protect my table or whatever surface I'm ever working on, I always use a scrap piece of wood. And now it's time to bring out the Dremel. I've attached the smallest drill bit that I have, and I hold the Dremel as straight as possible and drill through where I made my marks. I use a paper towel to brush off the sawdust that was created from drilling. If you want to, you can go back over this area with Mod Podge. I chose not to. Now it's time to add my jump ring, my beaded component, and also my ear wire. Here's the final look of the earrings. Let me know in the comments below if you would rock these. Thank you for watching. Please give the video a like and subscribe for more creative content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.